this is Paul. See, um, you cannot put in publication, yes, without parental consent, yes, and without that consent being the properly authorized to act, yes. Now, you would say that, well, we put it in publication, we know about child abuse, we know about kidnapping, we know about child neglect, yes, but without my parental consent, you could not put it in publication. That's right. And since you issued this dissolution of marriage without any due process to me, right, right, and you issued all these protection orders violating all these state and federal laws, and that's right, that's right. I'm going to sue the media, yes, every location, everywhere in the United States, for having any knowledge that without my consent as a parent right now, they are legally liable for putting in publication any child of the United States of America. Now, for all the school districts that said we don't have any liability, every civil rights coordinator, pooch, all the mandatory. Now I know you're upset about this, but I really was very serious when I emailed all those newspapers, Peninsula Daily News, Squim Gazette. $2 billion, Seattle Times, $2 billion, King County. Now, let's say you decided to put in a Rotary newsletter, yes, yes, a picture of Susan Bowers holding a girl, yes, that quite possibly isn't Lugina Pooch. Did Marilyn Van Proy give her parental consent, yes, to publicize an image of Susan Bowers as herself? Now, I'm going to sue Rotary. In fact, last night, Pooch, I went on the Rotary training, yes, about why it is that you do not exploit children. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Now, I know Mike would say, well, we're members of Rotary in 2015, July 31st. And as a condition of our membership, we always give consent for somebody else to use ourselves as whatever they want to do. Because I'm going to sue Rotary. Just give me all the Rotarian nation of the world. Then I went through the Foursquare manual for those that are pastors. Now, I know you say that Mike's not abusive. Last night, I understand that Rotary is very serious about child abuse and child neglect. Yes. And it looks like every one of your little pastors, yes, has to fill out this whole idea, yes, of what it means to protect children. Now, I'm just looking for it here. I know it's here someplace. Oh, Washington. Oh, well, I am actually going to sue Foursquare as a denomination. And every pastor that happens to be a mandatory reporter, yes, that did sign, oh, look at this, mandated reporter training, conflict of interest, Mike Van Proyen. Now, this is interesting. Should I desire, yes, to enter into a transaction which my personal interests or the interests of those related to me by blood or marriage, yes, may conflict with the interests of the Foursquare Church. Does it conflict with the Foursquare Church to turn the electricity off on me in the middle of winter? The hate crime of it, yes, and the tampering with the electric utility. Does Foursquare right now? I'm sorry, Mike, I don't think. Now, or may appear to conflict, I will first disclose the details of the transaction and receive my district supervisor's approval before proceeding with the transaction. Now, since I provided all the documentation of the emails that made me a volunteer at 1023 Kitchen Dick Road, yes, this idea that you're just going to do it the Van Proyen way, I think your conflict of interest, of your personal interest of having me move, yes, violates the actual contractual obligation of being licensed, ordained in Foursquare. Now, I'm going to want to know every pastor in Foursquare and all of those, yes, 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 that are employees of Foursquare because I'll sue every one of them right now. Now, this is called the Child and Youth Protection Manual of the Foursquare denomination. Oh, did I tell you I want to speak to Meryl right now? See, Youth and Child Protection Manual. Yes. would make it a conflict of interest, Mike Van Point, yes, to cause the hate crime of freezing me in the middle of winter, yes, while committing that Class B felony of tampering with the electric utility. Now look at here, screening and selecting workers. Oh, background checks. Could you get me the criminal background checks of every Foursquare church in the United States? And since Rotary provides different kinds of protection for children training, give me the background checks of every member of Rotary. Because, I would think that the screening of Social Security, well, see, as a possible, yes, volunteer with children in various denominations, every time that you issued any fraudulent court order, it violates my right to work with children. And I told you to remove that protection order. You didn't have any jurisdiction. Yes. Now, whereas, that. Let's just look at it right now. Well, you conspired against me getting actual notice of court hearings, 1023 Kitchen Dick Road. Yes. You exploited your adopted daughter. Yes. And without Marilyn's consent, yes, to publication, you used her name in an image that was not her. Yes. And every time I tell you that it's against the law, you seem to think right now that I'm not going to sue Rotary for every asset that they own, but I am. Now, these individuals that call themselves, yes, youth and child protection introduction, I understand introduction the abuse happened, but we have had difficulty accepting that it can happen within our programs, within the Foursquare family. Yes. Well, it did happen. And it has happened, yes. And Mike has been very abusive, yes. And I want to reside with Marilyn. So I would like to say that the definition of child abuse, according to the Foursquare manual, intentionally inflicting injury upon a minor, yes. Placing a minor in a situation where he or she is likely to be injured. Engaging or allowing a minor to be engaged in sexual activity. Allowing a minor to witness sexual acts or to be exposed to pornographic material. Allowing a minor to witness the abuse of another individual, inflicting excessive punishment on a minor, so allowing a minor to be given or to consume illegal controlled substances, allowing or perpetrating any form of exploitation of a minor. Well, now, definition of child abuse. Allowing or perpetrating any form of exploitation of a minor. Now, since Legina, yes, 2015 too, was not being held by her mother, Marilyn, yes, she was being held by Susan Bowers, yes, and Susan Bowers is not her mother, yes. Are you absolutely sure child abuse?